What if I told you that Avengers Doomsday is already being called one of the most epic Marvel movies ever made, and almost no one outside Marvel has actually seen it yet? No public screenings, no fan events, no leaked footage online. And yet, the buzz coming from inside Marvel Studios right now is getting louder by the day. Quiet reactions, industry whispers, and one very specific insider comment that has fans suddenly rethinking what kind of Avengers movie we're about to get. Today we're breaking down the very first reactions to Avengers Doomsday, why they matter, why you shouldn't let them control your expectations, and what this early confidence might mean for the future of the MCU as a whole. Because if even half of what's being said is true, Marvel might finally be on the verge of pulling off something Endgame level again. Welcome back to Everything Wonder, where we break down MCU movies, shows, news, rumors, and everything happening behind the scenes of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right now, Avengers Doomsday is still deep in post-production. The movie is not finished. Visual effects are being refined. Pickups and additional photography are still happening. And yet, we're already starting to hear very early reactions from people close to the production. These aren't reviews. These aren't public screenings. These are early industry impressions, the kind that usually stay quiet until much later. So today, let's talk about where these reactions are coming from, what they actually mean, and why this could be one of the most important signals we've had about the MCU in years. One of the biggest sources of this new buzz comes from a well-known industry insider who's been extremely active in the Marvel space over the past few years. This is someone with a solid track record, someone who correctly reported major Marvel casting decisions and story directions months before they were officially announced. According to him, Avengers Doomsday is currently in post-production, with more work still ahead, but the overall reaction from inside Marvel is very positive. That was a pretty gripping intro. It definitely captures that high-energy, insider scoop vibe common in MCU theory circles. The exact takeaway? The buzz is good, really good. And more importantly, people think audiences are going to like this movie a lot. Now, that might sound simple on the surface, but context is everything here. At this stage of production, almost no one outside the studio should have a clear picture of the final film. That means the people reacting positively are either directly involved in the process or close enough to see how the pieces are coming together. And while that could raise concerns about bias, people liking the movie they're working on, it's actually still meaningful, because we've also heard the opposite from Marvel productions in the past. There have been MCU films where insiders quietly expressed concern, where rewrites piled up, where post-production became chaotic, where confidence was shaky even before audiences ever saw a frame. That's not what we're hearing here. Instead, what we're hearing lines up with something Marvel desperately needs right now: confidence. And that confidence starts at the top. The Russo Brothers are back. Kevin Feige is deeply involved. And the creative process that worked for Infinity War and Endgame is being leaned on heavily again. That matters more than people realize. Because one of the biggest criticisms of the multiverse saga hasn't been ideas, it's been execution. Too many disconnected stories. Too many tonal shifts. Too many projects that felt like they were being pulled in different directions. Avengers Doomsday doesn't just have to be good. It has to recenter the MCU. And the pressure on this movie is unreal. Marvel isn't just trying to top Infinity War and Endgame, which is already a nearly impossible task. They're also trying to win back parts of the audience that drifted away during Phase 4 and Phase 5. Some fans skipped theatrical releases for the first time in over a decade. Some lost confidence in Marvel's long-term plan. Some felt the emotional through-line was missing. So when early reactions suggest that Doomsday might be one of the most epic Avengers films ever made, that's not just hype, that's relief. And it's not happening by accident. The Russos are uniquely positioned for this moment. They understand Marvel's movie-by-committee process better than almost anyone. They've already proven they can juggle massive casts, interconnected storylines, and world-ending stakes without losing emotional focus. If Marvel had hired anyone else, the conversation would be completely different. People would be questioning whether the director could even handle something this big. But with the Russos, that doubt just isn't there. Still, and this is important, early reactions are not the final word. At this stage, Avengers Doomsday is still evolving. Scenes may change. Characters may be added or adjusted. Entire sequences could be reworked based on pickups and additional photography. And history has shown us how misleading early reports can be. We've seen films get absolutely trashed by early reactions only to turn out fine once finished. And we've seen movies praised early that didn't quite stick the landing. A perfect example is Captain America: Brave New World. Early reports painted a messy, broken film. Rumors spread for months. Expectations tanked. And when audiences finally saw the finished product, it wasn't nearly as bad as the internet had made it sound. Was it perfect? No. Was it the disaster people predicted? Absolutely not. That's why it's crucial not to let early buzz, positive or negative, completely shape your expectations. Fandom is subjective. Taste is subjective. And one person's amazing is another person's meh. Most of us watching channels like this are hardcore MCU fans. We know what we like. We know when Marvel hits and when it misses. And we're capable of forming our own opinions when the lights go down and the movie actually starts. So take these reactions for what they are. A good sign, not a verdict. A signal that Marvel might finally be firing on all cylinders again. A sign that the MCU's biggest upcoming event is being handled with care. And a reminder that hype, when earned, can be a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, Avengers Doomsday doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to feel purposeful, connected, emotional, and worthy of the Avengers name. And based on these very first reactions, Marvel seems confident they're delivering exactly that. So don't let anyone else decide how you feel about this movie before you see it. Keep your expectations grounded, your excitement alive, and your mind open. Because if Marvel truly sticks the landing here, Doomsday might not just be the next Avengers movie. It might be the moment the MCU finds its heartbeat again. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you excited for Avengers Doomsday? Or are you still waiting to be convinced? This is Everything Wonder, and I'll see you in the next one.